Welcome to Three Questions, sponsored by the 18th Legislative District, Washington State Democrats. I'm your host, Wil Fuentes. My guest today is John Zingale, who is running for Clark County Council District 2. John Zingale is an award-winning educator here in Clark County. For the last 13 years, he has been teaching young individuals on how to get civically involved. He cares about public safety, affordable housing, and improving the lives of all Clark County residents. John, welcome to Three Questions with yours truly, Wil Fuentes. How are you?
I'm doing well, Will. Thanks for having me.
I'm happy to have you here.
Yeah.
I'm just really excited to get to know you, have the audience members get to know you. And why don't we start off with the first question? Question number one.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what office you're running for.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Well, John Zingale.
Yeah.
I'm running for Clark County Council District number 2.
Okay.
And I'm excited for this because myself, I am a 13, 14, somewhere in there. Been working for Vancouver Public Schools the last several years.
Oh, wow.
13, 14 years.
Yeah.
And over those years at iTech Preparatory, I teach kids from all over Vancouver. East side, west side, even Battleground. We pull a lot of our students. So I've had the opportunity to meet tons of different families from all over Clark County. And that's where I've stepped up to try to do something better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And better the community because I hear a lot of the hardships that they're having and the issues that matter to them. I've been teaching for these last 13 years. I'm actually the current 2026 Southwest Washington Teacher of the Year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Lots of other awards and accolades through that. And prior to that, I actually spent 16 years in grocery retail, believe it or not. Started bagging groceries and worked my way up to assistant store director.
Okay.
So I have a business background as well, lots of project management, getting things done. And going to repair. And my job there would be going to fix stores that were in disarray. So I think county council is ripe for my skill set.
Yeah. So now you said County Council District 2. Can you tell us geographically what areas does County Council District 2 encompass? It's not an easy one.
It's Salmon Creek.
Okay.
It's Philida. It's Hazeldale. It's down to I believe 63rd. So it's a little bit of the 18th legislative district, which I've run for in the past.
Yeah.
And then the other part of it is the upper 49th.
Okay.
So it does share. While there's a lot of unincorporated Clark County in it, it does have a bit of the city in it as well.
Oh, it does.
It does,
so the northern part, right, of the city of Vancouver.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
a lot of that borders, I believe, 78th Street, and so it does drop down below that.
Okay.
Into the east side towards Costco and Home Depot. And
okay, that's right. But most of it is urban, unincorporated Clark County.
Correct.
Now, let me ask you this, and I bet your students are very excited that you're running for Clark County Council too. But let me ask you this: what's something that you want voters to know that they may not know?
So that's one of the funnest things I think about me is I've actually seen over 240 concerts.
240 concerts.
Yeah. It's I love music. Just growing up, we used to travel to concerts all over the place. I even saw my favorite band in France last summer,
which is
Dream Theater.
Okay, yeah.
Most people don't know that, but I love music. I used to play bass guitar for a little bit. My son is now learning guitar. Now I'm actually going to be learning guitar along right side with him.
Are you in a band?
No.
Were you in a band?
I had friends that were in bands. I was not good enough to do that. But I love music. I love going to shows because you never have a bad time there. Right. You're with you don't know those people, but you're friends with them.
Right.
And you get to really enjoy and just I'm always amazed at the musicianship and what people can do live. I was just at a show again on last Friday.
Yeah. Who was that? What show?
It was just a jazz Frank Sinatra, Louis Armstrong show.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But not the original Frank Sinatra, Louis Armstrong, right? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they've been gone for a while.
They have. And so I love all different types of genre, from metal to Pearl Jam to jazz.
Yeah.
Even some classical. We went and saw Vivaldi a couple weeks ago. So,
all right.
My daughter plays in band and orchestra, and so been going to lots of concerts, school concerts, and celebrating the kids. And it's nice to see music be a part of our community.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it sounds like you have a very diverse range of musical styles that you're really into.
Yeah.
But I wanna learn a little bit more why you're running for County Council District 2. So we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Question number 2, John. Now, audience members want to know. I want to know. You're running for Clark County Council District 2. Why?
Yeah, thank you for the incredible question.
Yeah.
In the past, I've actually run for the 18th Legislative District at the state level. And as I was knocking on doors, I kept hearing some consistent threads through all of this. And that's really like, people want to see where their tax dollars hit the road. And I think more and more, as I've been a social studies teacher and looked at and taught government, I think the greater impact we have is at the more local level.
Yeah.
And so, as in District 2, we have a diverse area. Like, it's some of the city, but a lot of it's unincorporated Clark County.
Right.
So we don't have the same services as the city does.
Right.
And so we're seeing different issues play out. One of the big ones that I hear from a lot of parents, I had a mom stop me at Target the other day telling me their kid is just graduating college, they're going to come back here and looking for a job, but it's so expensive to own a car.
Right.
And so they're like, how are we trying to figure out transportation? And so, that's a big piece. I hear from a lot of constituents about, they want the bridge.
Yeah.
We need to get that bridge done.
Yeah.
I know the county doesn't have the end all, say all, be all on that, but it's a part of that process.
Right. Yeah.
These kids want to start their first jobs. I've got kids that I've been teaching, they're 17, 18, but they don't know how they're going to get there.
Right.
Because, and costs are so expensive. I keep hearing too, from a lot of families, in my grocery retail days, right now, this time we're living in, it reminds me of the Great Recession, where people are putting groceries back because they can't afford all of it.
Right.
And so, we want to make sure that our county tax dollars are being spent appropriately, making sure we're maintaining our roads, fixing those different things.
Right.
Adding public transit stops. I know C-Tran has been doing a lot of incredible work right
Absolutely.
now. But, we have to think, when I first started teaching 13 years ago, Vancouver and Clark County in particular were smaller.
Right.
Like, Vancouver is the 10th largest city. We're now the 4th.
Yeah.
Right? Clark County's growing exponentially. So this stuff that we have to make sure we're adjusting and forward thinking.
Yeah.
In our decisions about the county. But we also don't want just unabandoned growth that's getting rid of the stuff that makes Clark County just home.
Right.
And beautiful, like those views, those mountain views, and
Right.
The land that we have.
Yeah.
So we have to be able to balance those, and those are two big things that just have stuck with me as I'm hearing the families talk about them. Like, even during parent-teacher conferences, like, oh, what about this? What about that? They come up to me and they know I'm active in the community, and so they want to share those things because they believe I can get things done.
Yeah. And we'll get into some of your priorities in just a moment, but I do want to acknowledge that you make a very valid point, right? Parents are struggling, right? Food is getting more expensive. Just a 12-ounce cup of coffee will set you back almost $5 with a dollar tip, right? It's not cheap. And then you mentioned, that parent who told you that their child can't afford a car. If I remember recently, I read an article that an average price of a car is about $50,000 for a brand new car, right?
A new car, yeah.
And then gas. Gas is like upwards of $5 right now.
And then insuring a 17-year-old?
Yeah.
It's been a while since you and I.
Yeah.
You're still young.
We're still young, absolutely.
It could be, I just had a kid tell me they're $180 a month.
Just for the insurance.
Insurance.
Yeah, and it's probably not even liability.
Right.
Or excuse me, full coverage.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we have to be able to make sure that, our tax dollars that we're using within the county are being used in the appropriate ways.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things I've always heard when I was door knocking was roads, like the things that people touch every day. They want to see their tax dollars at work.
Absolutely. And we'll get into some of your priorities right now. Question number 3. All right, John, you've talked a little bit about some of what you're hearing, what you heard out on the streets as you were door knocking when you were campaigning last season. What are your top priorities based on that information?
Cost of living.
Yeah.
It's expensive to live, just in general. And so we want to make sure at the county level we're doing everything to help keep people in their homes.
Right.
whether they're buying, whether they own, or whether they rent. Unincorporated Clark County, where I live, a lot of that, we still see a lot of, unfortunately, houseless, out on the streets.
Yeah.
And Vancouver and the county council has done a lot, yourself included, to help facilitate a lot of what the city of Vancouver is doing. But I think that the county can be doing more.
Yeah, I agree.
Those safe facilities have been doing really well, but we don't have any on the county level.
Right.
And so, I'd love that would be one of my top priorities, because it pains me when I'm driving with my kids and I see in the back seat people struggling.
Yeah.
In a place that I think we shouldn't be. Once again, I think transportation, roads, infrastructure, we need to make sure those dollars are coming back home. Vancouver and Clark County have been growing exponentially.
Yeah.
But then Washington was just rated, I believe, 47th out of 50 states for our roads and highways.
Oh, wow.
And so
that bad?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
This is just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so, one of the things I want to do is keep fostering the relationships I have. Is why I'm endorsed by Senator Adrian Cortez.
Okay, congratulations
and
on that.
Monica Stonier, because those funds at the state level need to be coming back to Clark County.
Right.
We're growing. Everything shouldn't be going to Seattle or out to Spokane. It needs to come back here to Clark County, and I will be a tireless advocate for those funds. And then, number 3 would be making sure we're just, lowering costs where we can, and making sure our streets are safe too.
Yeah, so public safety.
Public safety, and there's so many different facets to that. You've been out door knocking. There's so many places that don't have sidewalks.
Right.
Oh yeah. And that's some of the things too. I've met lots of people, like, they're out walking, but cars are whizzing past them because and they don't feel safe.
Right. Or riding bikes.
Riding bikes. Yeah. I just saw a ton of kids today. They're out on their little e-bikes. They're getting away. They're trying to be kids, and we're in this new delicate balance where it's tough to, do we let our kids go out and do these things? I've got a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old at home. I got to feel safe letting them go be kids. Yeah. And so I want to make sure that we're there, and we've been showing up for the community for all these years. Clark County has been terrific for me. I want to keep showing up for Clark County. Yeah. As they've shown up for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so just to kind of recap, you mentioned affordability, which is an issue that really, well, first of all, resonates with a lot of people, because a lot of people are struggling, whether it's housing or the cost of goods, right? Infrastructure is important. It's particularly true in unincorporated Clark County, where a lot of communities were developed without sidewalks, right? Right. And so, going out for a run, or kids riding their little tricycles that's not a thing, because there aren't enough sidewalks.
Yeah.
Right.
Even just getting to the park sometimes where they can go and be is a little hazardous. Yeah. And so we want to make sure our families are safe, and because let's face it, Clark County is an amazing place to live.
It's a great place.
It's why more people keep moving here.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And we just can't keep putting temporary band-aids on things.
Right.
We have to be forward-thinking, a little bit innovative in our thought process. Yeah. And making sure that we're also retaining our history and our sensibility of who we are.
Yeah. Oh, you're not wrong that people are wanting to move here, and I've said this a number of times before on this show, that we're going to grow. We're estimated to grow about 200,000 people in this county alone in the next 20 years. That's a lot of people that we need to accommodate. We need to build a lot more houses, right? You also mentioned finally public safety, right? Making sure that people feel safe. Can you go into a little bit more detail? How can Clark County support public safety?
Yeah. Sheriff's Department, we need to make sure we increase. I think you guys just passed a tax, right, to help pay for some more sheriff's deputies. And so we want to keep moving that forward. But we want to hire and retain people too, and make sure that's and that's just part of public safety. One of the things I would love to see is, as a public school teacher, a lot is placed on our plate. Right. We're not just teachers. Right. We're counselors. We're listeners. We do all these different things. Yeah. Our officers are not always trained to handle every situation. Right. We have a lot of mental health illness keep growing up and popping up, and so I want to make sure. I'd love to see where we can start sending out different people based on the situation in need. right? If someone's having a mental health breakdown, we shouldn't necessarily be sending an officer who might exacerbate the situation.
Yeah.
It's been working out in several other cities, and I think Clark County is ripe for transitioning that and showing how that can work at a different level.
Yeah.
Because that's how we can build community trust.
Right.
Right. We want them to feel safe, and by putting the correct person into the response, we can do that.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Recently, ECHO, Ending Community Homelessness Organization, which is a committee made up of law enforcement and leaders from across different sectors that are addressing the homelessness situation in Clark County, held a panel. These panelists were law enforcement officers, chief of police from different jurisdictions across the county, and one of the things, their main concern is that they do not have the training to address mental health crisis. So you made a very valid point, right? Making sure we have the right people to deal with those situations versus sending police officers or sheriffs, right? Because they're not trained. That's not their job.
It's not, right? Yeah. It's we want to make sure the right people are sent to the right job.
That's exactly it. John, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate you having you here today and learning a little bit more about you and your race. Best of luck to you.
Well, thanks, Will. This has been an absolute pleasure. It's there's not another fern over here, so we're not between two ferns. But yeah, this
is the only fern.
That's the only one. So, this has been an absolute pleasure, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
Awesome, folks. That is our show for today. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the notification bell. We will see you next time.